You have probably seen people talk about building AI agents, but how do you actually create one yourself? In this video, I'll show you exactly how to build your first AI agent inside Azure AI Foundry step by step. You'll see how to set it up, give it instructions, test it live, and even clean up resources, all in just a few minutes. Let's jump right in. Before we start building, let's quickly understand what Azure AI Foundry actually is. Think of it as Microsoft's workspace for creating and managing AI systems, all in one place. Here you can test models like GPT-4, create your own AI agents, connect them to your data, and monitor how they perform in real time. What makes it powerful is that it's built for everyone, whether you are just experimenting locally or deploying production-grade AI inside an enterprise setup. In this video, we will stay on the practical side. I'll show you how to build your own agent from scratch using this platform. In this tutorial, we are going to use the Azure AI Foundry. For that, you need a Microsoft account. So if you do not have a Microsoft account, you can create a new one going to the Microsoft.com, and there you can create a new Microsoft account. After that, you need to go to ai.azure.com. There you see this page, and then from here we can sign in into AI Foundry. Once you sign in, you probably have to go through the multi-factor authentication. Once multi-factor authentication is done, you will see this page. This is the main page of Azure AI Foundry, where you can see the list of AI Foundry resources, the list of your project. In order to create a new project, you can click on create an agent, or click on the create new with the plus sign. You see this page here. In this page you have two options. The first one is the Azure AI Foundry resource, in which you are going to create lots of different resources related to AI Foundry, and there you can use different capabilities like agentic capabilities. The other option is the AI Hub resource, which is more for advanced scenarios like custom machine learning, training, open source, model hosting, fine-tuning, etc. For this tutorial, we're going to use Azure AI Foundry resource. So click on next. Here you need to change the project name. As you can see, the project name is already picked up by using my username, but I would like to make it more meaningful. Then later I can find out which project is about which concept. So I'm going to change the project name, and as soon as you change the project name, the advanced option will be opened. There you can see the name of the other resources as well. As you can see, there are other resources here that you can change the settings for the name for that, like Azure AI Foundry resource, like resource group. You can also change the subscription where you want to deploy your resources, and also the region. I'm going to change the Azure AI Foundry resource to make sure it's unique, and also I'm going to change the resource group because I would like to make sure that the all names are kind of related and similar, and later I can find the resources on Azure portal. Once I'm done with the changing, it will be validated immediately, and I can click on create to create the resources. It might take a few minutes until everything will be created, and then we can see the project page. Once the deployment is done, you will see this page, which is the main page of your project. As you can see on the right side, you can see the project details, and then on the middle you can see the endpoints and keys for your AI Foundry project. And on the left side, you can see the list of the menus where you can see the model catalog, playgrounds, agents, templates, fine-tuning, content understanding, tracing, monitoring, assistant vector store, and models and endpoints. As you can see, some of the options and menus are still in preview, which means you probably are not going to be able to use them on production if you are using the AI Foundry in an enterprise organization, but still you can have a look and give it a try and see how it works. For this tutorial, we're going to focus on the agents. We want to create an agent, so I'm going to click on the agents and create my first agent in my new project. You can find the agents from the left side under the build and customize. Once you click on agents and click on new agent, you will be directed to this page, which is about deploying a new model. Before creating any agents, you need to have an AI model in place. And as you can see the list of the AI models here. At the time of this video, these models are available in AI Foundry, and Microsoft is adding constantly new models as soon as they are ready. So I'm going to choose GPT-4o for this tutorial. That is my preferred model these days. It's important to read the information of the model here before choosing the right model for your use case to make sure it's the right choice. Once you select your model, you can click on Confirm. In this page, you are able to change the other configurations of your model deployment. These configurations, beside the deployment name, are impacting the cost and also the scaling and performance part of the model. For this tutorial, we do not have to change anything, so we can click on the deploy and deploy the model. Once the model is deployed, immediately your agent is available. As you can see on this screen, you can click on the agent, and once you select the agent, on the right side you can see the name of the agent ID, also the deployment name, and there are a lot of other things for the agent that you can configure here. Also the features are available. For example, you can see the agent descriptions where you can define what agent does, the agent behavior, also the instructions for the agent, when you can give more clear directions for the agent to clarify how to behave. You can add the knowledge to your agent, especially for RAG solutions, and create a RAG agent. You can add actions to your agent, and you can connect your agent to other agents to create a multi-agent solution. And here also you can configure the temperature and top B, and these two options are controlling the way agents generate information. You can increase or decrease the creativity of your agent. So our agent is ready, and how easy it was to create a new agent in Azure AI Foundry. Alright, we have built our first AI agent, but before we celebrate, we need to make sure it actually works. Let's test it out and see how it responds to our prompts. This is where we find out if everything we set up really comes together. So let's test our new agent. Here we can actually test our new agent on the box which is ready here. Let's type in a prompt or a question to see how our agent is working. So I'm gonna ask the agent to give me a plan for 5 days, a diet plan, and immediately the agent will give me the answer. So I'm gonna close this window, and as you can see, I still didn't define the instructions for the agent, but the agent works perfectly. It took 9 seconds, and as you can see, it's formatted very nicely, day by day, every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and also some suggestions. So at the end of the generation, you can see the time of the generation. It took 9 seconds, also 900 tokens, and you can see the AI quality. There are some evaluation here. You can see the run info by click on this, and this is really interesting window. In this window you can see the input output. Also, if you click on the metadata, you can see more information about the process that is done, and on the last page you can see the evaluation. This is quite interesting and important to also evaluate the output of your agent, and it's important to have this quality check on your agentic solutions. And as you can see, this is already a built-in feature in Azure AI Foundry, so you don't have to do anything for that. Now we know our agent is running, it's time to give it a personality, or in technical terms, instructions. This is where you tell your agent how to behave, what tone to use, and what it should focus on. Think of it as writing a job description for your AI. So to define an instruction for our agent, you can easily write in our instruction in the instructions place. So I'm gonna say that this is a helpful agent or assistant that is gonna give me healthy advices. What I'm gonna add as an extra direction is to ask this agent to give me the output in a table format. So this is gonna be probably a small change that is gonna happen in the output format, and then after that we're gonna test the agent again to see if the agent followed this instruction in the output. So I'm gonna ask the same question from agent to see if the agent follows the same instruction or not. So the instruction will be saved automatically. So now we can probably copy paste the previous question and ask from the agent to see what will happen. So I'm gonna copy and paste it here. Interesting, as you can see already the output changed to new format, and now I can see the new format here. So obviously agent followed the instruction, and this is how you can define instructions for your agent, and based on your need and request you can add different things to your agent behavior. So far our agent can respond based on what it already knows, but let's make it smarter. What if we wanted to use our own data like a PDF, a document, or even company files? That's where the magic of retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, comes in. We'll connect our agent to external data so it can give answers grounded in your knowledge base, not just general information. Let's give it a try. To add your data, you need to use the knowledge part under the agent description on the right side, as we saw it earlier. It's very easy, you just click on the add button. So on this page, you can see there are lots of options. You can upload your files. You can connect your agent to Azure AI Search. You can connect it to Microsoft Fabric. There are other APIs are currently available here that you can use them to connect to different types of data sources. So for this tutorial, I'm going to choose files because I'm going to connect to one of the PDF file I have on my computer. So I click on files. And then here, as you can see, there are lots of formats are supported by Azure AI Foundry. I click on select local files, and from there, I'm able to upload my PDF file here. So this is the PDF I'm going to upload. It's about agent governance. It's a white paper from Microsoft, and it's about 32 pages. I'm going to choose this file to see if I can use it with my agent. Once you select the file, then after that you need to click on upload and save, and then your file will be uploaded and saved on Azure AI Foundry storage. Once it's done, you can see the knowledge resource there and already available. Now I go to the file again and see what kind of question I'm going to ask. I'm going to choose this part, the scope of this file. It's a topic which is in the beginning of the PDF. I'm going to ask a question, but before that I'm going to clear the thread here. I'm going to start fresh in this chatbot. So I create a new thread and I'm going to ask my agent what is the scope of this document. As you can see, the agent immediately processed my question and answered my question based on the document. You still see the information after the generation about the quality token and the time it took. As we see, the information is what we expected, and as you can see, there is a citation at the end of the generated message, which if you can mouse over on that, it shows where the information is coming from, and this is the information that is extracted from the document and processed by the agent. This is how a RAG solution works, and as you can see, easily you can talk to your document using agent. Once your agent is live, monitoring becomes crucial. You want to see how it's performing, track its usage, and understand how it interacts with users and your data. Azure AI Foundry gives you built-in dashboards and tools to help you manage all that. Let's take a look. One thing interesting about the Azure AI Foundry is that sometimes you can reach out to features from different ways. For example, to open the management center, you can find it either from the left side. If you scroll down the menu, you can see it there, or you can find it from the main page of your project on the right side. You can see open in management center menu item that is placed in the right side. Yes. And then when you click on that, you can see the overview of the project users. You can change the permissions. If you click on all resources, you can see the AI Foundry resources. This is similar to the first page. On the quota page, you can see the quota related to your deployments, the model deployments. We deployed GPT-4o, and we can see the information here. Overall, everything related to the resources, permissions, connections, you can manage all of them in this page. So now we are back in the main page and we want to look into the monitoring and observability. For that, you can find the observability on the bottom of the page and click on the monitor application. There you can create a monitoring resource. In order to get more insight, you need to create an application insight resource. So I'm going to choose monitoring as a name and create an application insight resource. After that, I'm able to get more information about what's going on in my Azure AI Foundry resources. So as you can see, immediately the dashboards are available. Of course, it might take time to populate the data, and this is quite interesting how you can actually monitor your AI Foundry agents or resources here. If you click on the resource usage, as you can see here, you can see the total request, token count, prompt token, completion token, and some diagrams below, which is quite interesting to have an overview of your consumption and token usage. And this is how you can also cover the monitoring and observability. And as you noticed, it was so easy to set it up without any prior knowledge or sophisticated configuration. Now, here's an important part that many people forget: deleting unused resources. When you are done testing, it's good practice to clean up your environment. This keeps your Azure costs low and your workspace organized. Let me show you how to safely remove everything you created. To clean up AI Foundry project resources, you can click on Open in Management Center from the right side of your main page of your project. And here you can click on the All Resources and then click on your AI Foundry project. So you can click on the Manage Resource on the top, and then you can see the delete resource here. You can click on the delete resource. This redirects you to the Azure portal where you can delete the AI Foundry resources. So as you can see here, this is the main page of AI Foundry resource on Azure portal. You can click on the delete button on this page. So for that, you need to writing the resource name. You can copy it from the top, paste it here, and click on delete. This is going to delete the AI Foundry resource, but there are other resources that is not going to be deleted by this one, so you still need to delete them separately. For that, you need to go back to the resource group we created for this Azure AI Foundry project, and there you can see what are the resources are left. So on the notification side, you can see the confirmation if the resource is deleted or not. And you can go back to the resource group to see what is left. So as you can see, some of the resources are still left. So the easiest part is to delete the resource group, and then all resources will be deleted. So I click on the delete resource group, and then here I need to paste the resource group name, click on delete, and then probably after a few minutes the old resources will be removed. This is quite important, especially when you are done with your testing with your agent, so you don't want to pay any extra cost when you are not using the resources. So make sure always to clean up your resources after you are done with Azure AI Foundry, and in general, if you are using any resources on Azure, you can come back and remove your resources. So the deletion process is finished successfully. All resources are removed and the cleanup process was successful. And that's it. You have just created, tested, and managed your very first AI agent in Azure AI Foundry. You now understand the full cycle from setup to cleanup, just like a professional AI architect. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials that turn AI theory into real working system. See you in the next one.